I'm playing Tetris.
Did you watch the Tetris documentary or whatever the fuck it was? Was it a scripted narrative movie? I don't remember.
What? No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How do you not know about this as a Tetris lover?
I don't know. What is it?
I can't recall off the top of my head because I remember seeing a trailer or something about it and I thought, what the fuck?
Movie.
What the fuck? It's just called Tetris, official trailer, Apple TV Plus. 2023 biographical thriller film directed by John S. Baird.
Thriller?
Written by Noah Pink, starring Taron Egerton. That's the man who played Rocket Man.
Who's Rocket Man?
The movie about the Rocket Man himself. You know, the Rocket Man, the musician.
Oh. What the fuck? Elton John.
You couldn't remember his name either.
Yeah, what? It was like catching. You couldn't remember it, so then I couldn't remember it.
I don't know why I couldn't remember it, but it wasn't coming to mind.
No. So when you played Tetris, did you play Tetris? You played Tetris.
I never really liked Tetris. I didn't like the puzzle games. Like Dr. Mario, I couldn't stand. I know that you love it because you're the world champion.
Well,
you're not really the world champion.
Cousin Heather, but.
No. I feel like you're just the neighborhood champion. You're just much better than most of the people around you. But if you ever took it to the world stage, you'd be out.
Oh, for sure. Some like Asian kid would kick my ass.
Hold on. You can't say that.
Why?
Why are you stereotyping Asians and them being good at Dr. Mario?
Because anytime I play, shoot, hold on, I'm about to lose. Anytime I play,
I don't feel safe on this podcast.
Pac-Man.
I don't fucking feel. Hold on,
I lost.
I don't feel safe on this podcast with you making such broad comments that Asians are good at Dr. Mario.
Oh, I got a tiny rocket.
You know, there's a big scandal that ties in closely to this. This is why I'm reacting the way I am on.
Oh, okay. Why?
It was on Reddit. This is where I find out my TikTok news. Not that I'm looking for it, but I was in the I'm the main character subreddit.
Uh-huh.
Because I really like that one because it sums up all the people in the world who feel as though they're the main character and the way they bother other people and they video it. They video it thinking people are going to love this. I'm going to post this and people are going to say, ha ha, look at this person. Mostly it's like, wow, this person is a complete asshole and they're bothering other people. People who are just trying to live their lives or do their jobs or just exist. So in there today, I saw a video posted. There was a woman in London in a cab. She's Vietnamese, Asian. I forget her handle, gnocchi face or something like that.
Okay.
And because she has one of these cooking TikToks.
Okay, gotcha.
But she recorded this interaction with this very nice cab driver. And he said something along the lines of, where are you from? It's hard for me to tell because Asians look the same to me. And he is broken English. He's clearly an immigrant.
Okay.
And he even says he has a Chinese girlfriend, which I guess it's like, it's not the same as the guy who says, I have a black friend, so now I'm going to say something racist. It's not that. That's not what he was doing. But, you know, there's truth to this, that people of different races have trouble seeing the differences in the faces of people of other races. This is a real thing.
Well, was English his first language?
No, it's not his first language.
Right. So I would assume that what he meant was that, like, he can't distinguish between the different flavors of Asian.
I don't know if flavor is the best choice of word there, but sure.
Why flavor?
I don't know, because you're putting instead of making someone a human, you're saying they're a spice.
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell different flavors of white. Oh, that person's German. Oh, that person's Scandinavian. Oh,
that Scandinavian itself, you need to break that down.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Lumping everyone into Scandinavian.
Yeah, see, I'm a bad person too. We're all bad people. So
she's filming this interaction.
Yes.
He says something about Asians being, I hate that I'm talking about this in a way, but it's something I came across. And you know how I love the TikTok scandals. What was the other one I liked?
Oh, yeah, with that person was like, hey, go.
Yeah, the person.
What did she say? Or what did they say?
I'm glad you asked, stomping their foot and whatever. He also said that Asians are very nice, that they're nice people. And he's never come across, I mean, this was the implied thing. He didn't say this part, but he hasn't come across, Asian until this woman who becomes so offended and outraged. And she's about to cry. She's shaking.
What?
She needs to get out of the car. Pull over now. I need to get out of this car and get a different car. And she's recording this, thinking that she's doing a good deed. In her mind, you can see the gears turning. I'm going to get such likes for this. This is going to be huge on TikTok. This is going to be great for my brand. Finally, an opportunity to be a victim. This is it. I've got what I need. And he's like begging. He's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Please, I'm going to lose my job. I have a daughter. This is all I've got. And again, English is not my first language. I'm not very good at speaking English. And she posts it. And then there's such backlash. Like people
against her?
Yes, against her.
Oh, good.
They hate her now. And she deletes the video and disables comments on all the platforms because, people, TikTok, I'll go to Instagram and I'll post.
And comment under it like a 6-month-old post.
Yeah, so she turned off everything and then released some half-assed apology that wasn't really an apology. It was like, I'm sorry that this had the effect that it did. And, people make mistakes. And I just asked that I was like, you didn't afford that same service to that man. You didn't say, oh, you know what? If I take this for what it is and look at it in context, you're right. I am wrong in this situation. So why should people offer it to you?
Well, she should have said within that apology or whatever it was that she realized that she didn't afford him that same grace. So, but she didn't. It's still all about her.
If she had, then I think that would have been a better apology. But it was still just so focused on her and clear that the reason the apology was even set out is because she didn't get the online cred that she thought she was going to get. It backfired, and now she doesn't know. I mean, we all know what's going to happen. It'll blow over. No one's going to remember it in a day. And she'll just go on with her foodie ways. Doing videos like, oh my fucking God, I'm here in Turkey traveling because I travel so much. That's my job after all. I get to go around into all these places that you don't get to go. And I am at a restaurant where they don't speak English at all. And so the menu is in different language. And I opened up my Google Translate app, and did you know there's a feature on there where if you you turn on the camera and you face it towards the menu, it immediately in real time translates to English. Like, no fucking shit, that's been around for 12 years, you idiot.
So wait, are you saying that she's posting new things and not acknowledging
that was a video from a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago.
But she hasn't posted since.
No, hasn't posted since other than the apology. But she was just on Drew Barrymore's show, so her career was skyrocketing.
Oh.
She made Drew Barrymore her famous noodles.
How stereotypical of her.
And Drew slurped them down and said, oh, wow, these are the best noodles I've ever had.
These are the best noodles I've ever had.
Why is she hosting the video music? Do people still care about the video music awards?
Wait. I don't want to finish. I don't want to move on yet. I want to talk about this some more.
Oh, what is this going to be the topic now? Should I just play the fucking...
Well, yeah, we should just play it.
Music? Okay.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. Sort of. Maybe. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ, and what can I say? Humanity is mostly garbage, comprised of an overproduction of platitudes, discarded empathy, wrappers of self-centeredness, and disposable posturing. That aside, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking, Autumn.
Good. I'm glad. Okay. I just thinking about this dude and her. I'd like to think that she didn't hear this when she was filming this cab driver and like what you said, think about, oh, I'm gonna turn this into something. This is perfect. Do you think she really was offended? I have a hard time believing people are that diabolical in real time,
I can't say. Was she offended? Probably somewhere. Was she a little bit offended and switch flipped and she recognized the opportunity, maybe. I can't speak for another person, and I can't say that her feelings were wrong if she was offended. You're going to have your feelings, but part of that is, oh, I'm reacting this way. Now I need to take a look at the situation as a whole and kind of ground myself and figure out a way to navigate this. And even if she was highly offended, the moment somebody is apologizing, I think you hear the tone, and I could play the audio, which I think for the sake of the conversation would be helpful. I don't really want to because I don't. One, I'm embarrassed that I even went down this TikTok hole.
Why? Don't be embarrassed.
No, it's highly embarrassing. How do I?
There's a lot of fun TikTok controversy, like the cake gate.
It's not fun. It's not fun. I don't want this to be. I don't want this to be any part of my life, but here I am. I've been sucked into, because the algorithm, it really was Reddit that took me there. It wasn't the TikTok algorithm. The superior TikTok algorithm that really pushes Instagram to the depths of hell, because on Instagram, when you've got a following, it's pretty much guaranteed that when you post something, it's going to be seen. But on TikTok, it's fair. And I mean, which, sure, I don't appreciate it. In real life, I'll stop and I'll give you room. I promise.
I know. What are we talking about?
What I'm talking about is, in theory, the idea that TikTok allows everyone the same opportunity to post a video and for it to go viral, to catch on. That seems nice. Like, in theory, I'm like, wow, that's nice. You don't just get the fucking Kardashians in your fucking face every single day. Because on Instagram, apparently the way the algorithm works is the more followers you have, the more you're going to be seen. It's heavily weighted towards popularity. But because people know that this exists in TikTok, it's like everyone just fucking tries so fucking hard. And that's my problem with it. Now I turn the floor over to you while I try to connect Bluetooth.
You're not really turning it over to me. I have no way to comment upon that.
You can comment on it. Look, TikTok pops up often on the show, which, I'm also hesitant about, but whatever. It's the way of the world.
TikTok is better than TV. TikTok is great.
That's a loaded statement you just made.
I'm not saying that there aren't. I mean,
there's so much
TV
trash.
Is a long form.
Yeah, there's so much trash on TV too.
Yeah.
And it's because the expectations are higher. And you're like, well, there's professionals doing this supposedly, so I should get something good. And when you don't, it's fair to say, what the fuck? And I don't know if it's a matter of better or worse. It just feels like TikTok is junk food. Again, not that TV isn't. Depends. Not that TV isn't. So I hate the fact I'm even saying this.
TV, I think it has just been around longer and had more of a chance at prestige with, like public programming and kid friendly and documentaries and exposés and news and things like that. But TikTok has all that too. It just depends on your For You page. It depends on your algorithm into what you see. So I'll see things that teach me things. I'll see things that are part of a documentary or something that I can't get because I don't have like BBC or access to like streaming BBC without paying for it. And it's in part 1, part 2, part 3, and you just watch it all. You just go to the playlist and you just watch it straight through. And then I also have things like, a guy trying to jump over a fence and he rips his pants and his pants get stuck and he's stuck on the fence. My algorithm tries to give me really horrible true crime stuff that involves kids, where it's like a 911 call and like a kid is on the phone and they're crying. I'm like, get out of here. Stop it.
What does that say about you?
Yeah. Because I'm a woman of a certain age. And so they assume like you're going to like this. So
I thought it was highly tailored to your likes. It wasn't just so generalized. You're a woman of a certain age. TikTok, the brilliance of TikTok was the algorithm. It knows who you are.
It learns from what you're doing, but it also, it tries things based on who you are. And then it's like, oh, you don't like that? Okay.
I mean, I wonder how do you
I also get hoof cleaning videos, which are so good.
Ugh. It's disgusting. All the manure.
They call that forbidden coconut because of the shaving off of the hoof nail. Looks like coconut.
Yeah, just covered in manure and other.
Well, they rinse all that off and then they get to the hoof. And then sometimes there's like an abscess and they have to like carve it out and squish it. Stuff. It's really gross, but it's really good. Oh, is this it?
No, sorry. That was a reaction video. That was a real life Gigachad.
What's
Gigachad?
that? No.
If you look it up, you've seen Gigachad around the internet. Just do a quick search on.
Gigachad. Oh, it came up right away.
Yeah, that guy with the really long face and the square face.
Oh. I've never seen him before.
There was a guy doing a reaction video to what I'm talking about.
And he looked like that?
Yeah, he was.
Where does Gigachad come from?
Let's bring in Tim Andrews, shall we? I wish we had him on standby.
He would know.
I'm sure you could look up "Know Your Meme."
Here, I'll text him and ask him to send us like a voice note of what a Gigachad is.
No. Hold on. I mean, you can try that. Sorry, I'm not trying to put an end to that. I was just saying that I could probably find it quickly too. But I want
him to do it. I want him to report live.
Tell him to send it to me because then I can play it through the Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah.
The modern technology. I'm going to whatever. So, Know Your Meme, Gigachad. It's associated, or whatever. I won't say because I want him to.
I do too. Okay, go ahead.
Because there's a real history here tied to an art project in Berlin.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
It's a series of Photoshop photographs of several models created by a Russian photographer, someone for a project, Sleek in Tears. So the person Gigachad is not real, but yeah. I'm curious. Okay, what, you want me to find the...
Yeah, the video of the person being offended.
It's difficult for me to listen to because I feel for the guy, and I think that's the reaction that most people had.
Right.
So let's see, is this it? Maybe this is it.
Drop me off here.
Whatever, you okay here?
Yeah. Just drop me off anywhere. Thank you.
Everything is okay?
Everything is fine. However, just in future, what you said to me was quite offensive about how you were trying to guess where I'm from because you think we all look the same. And then you said, oh, I couldn't tell like where you were from, because you look a little bit different. That's very racist.
I didn't guess the where you.
I don't think that's very racist.
No, that's not very racist.
There is apparently now asking a person where they're from is something you shouldn't be doing, I guess.
Because if they appear to be from somewhere else, then you're saying like you're not from here. Who are you?
Yeah, but you can also express interest, like especially if you're driving a cab.
And then they say like San Francisco, and you can either say, "Oh, okay, is your family from somewhere else?" But people don't mean that. They're like, "No, where are you from?"
Well, especially when you're an immigrant yourself. Like the cab driver's an immigrant. He's in a large fucking city in London where there's people from all over. I don't think it's a strange question to ask in that setting. Oh, for sure.
But it was the part. It wasn't that he was asking that. It was the whole I can't tell where you're from because Asians look alike. But that's not what he meant. I mean, you can't get into his mind. We don't know what he meant.
I don't think he meant that, though. I don't think
so either.
I think he was just asking a question and stating something that is true. That part's not true. Let me clarify because I know that all Asians don't look alike. What I'm saying is, for a lot of people, the similarities, the nuances in people's faces isn't recognizable. And again, there's something scientific about that. So I feel as though you can make that. There's certainly ways you can make that statement, and it's dismissive and it's nasty. But I also think that it in itself, just as it stands, isn't by default a racist thing to say.
No.
And again, if you go to a small town, and I've dealt with this looking Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to just flat out ask. Only once in my life have I had one person say, "What are you, a Jew?" Once. But there's been times people have danced around.
Damn.
And, if you're Asian and you go to a small town, I can clearly understand a situation where somebody's like, "Where are you from?"
Right.
And how that could be threatening. And as a lead-in, for whatever the fuck they want to say that surely is unsavory. But I feel like when you're driving a taxi in a world fucking city, that's got
true. That is what you ask. People ask that.
And whether and maybe the statement about all Asians looking the same shouldn't have been said. But the guy was apologetic. We'll get to that. And then I think in that instance you forgive the person. Because I've been in situations with pronouns especially where you're going to get it wrong. Sometimes you don't know. And sometimes you do know and you still slip up. And in my mind, there's this big fear that if you slip up and maybe with the wrong person, they will come at you. But in my experience, you apologize and the person is understanding. Like, oh, yes, I get it. And I appreciate the fact that you're even thinking about it in the first place.
Right.
Maybe you look a little bit different to them. Sorry, please don't get me wrong. My English is not as a perfect.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is Chinese, and then I love the Asian people because they're so polite, so kind.
Right.
We do as a like, she like we do as a like like a joke. See, I said this. My Buddha is her name, and then this is my girlfriend. Please don't get me wrong. I love the Asian people. They're so polite. They're so kind.
So there's
Please
a difference.
don't get me wrong.
No. There's a difference between you loving Asian people, and there's a difference between you saying that we all look the same, and that you were trying to guess where I'm from because I look different to them. To them, that's the key word.
So sorry, madam. Is it exactly because of I don't have a perfect English?
No, it's fine, and like I
really
understand
sorry.
where you're coming from, but.
Yeah.
At this moment, I don't feel comfortable in this car. I'm going to get another one.
I'm really, madam, please forgive me. I really don't mean it about that. Madam,
Okay.
if something is wrong, this company will fire me. And I have a daughter. I swear to God.
I mean, she's putting her commentary up on the video the whole time. It's like guilt tripping me now with a stupid fucking emoji face where the eyes are looking up.
No.
And she really thought this was going to go a different way. There's only 11 seconds left. And she deleted it. But, people already have their screen recording, so it exists on forever.
Yep.
Don't mean this.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I swear to God, I don't mean of this.
Yeah, I know.
Really
like
sorry.
I appreciate that you don't mean it from a bad place.
That's it.
No, she doesn't.
No.
She doesn't appreciate it.
She also-
If she did, then she would have, been way easier on him and try to understand, maybe he didn't mean what she took.
She also didn't get out of the car. I think.
Oh, she didn't?
I mean, she was getting out, but I think if you're really in a situation, and maybe this isn't even the part to give commentary on, but I was going to say, if you're in a situation where you don't feel comfortable, you're probably going to get out of that situation as fast as possible. But she's like hanging around. And in my cynical mind, it says she can get more footage. So she can, it's also, I mean, for whatever reason, it didn't process watching. I feel as though if in the moment I was feeling a certain way and I had that video and then I watched it back later, maybe I would process it differently. And
yeah, like second guess as to maybe I took it a certain way, or maybe I can give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't mean it like that.
And then if I really still wanted my internet points, I would have edited the apology out. So it's kind of strange. Yeah. Like you could have been malicious about it. It's kind of strange that, do you think she went live to TikTok, straight to TikTok? I don't know what people do.
You can tell if it's live or not. So if it wasn't live, then.
Well, even if it's not live, like maybe you open the TikTok app and you record there and then you post it immediately.
Oh, yeah. But no, she didn't do that because she's put her commentary on it. So she had to have made the recording, uploaded it, and then edited it. Or at least opened the TikTok, recorded it, and then sort of continue to edit it in the app itself.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because she put her commentary on there throughout, like really mocking the man. This poor man. It's very difficult. I didn't even want to watch it. Like I read the comments before I watched the video. I was like, I don't want to hear this person scared for their livelihood.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. I think she sounds like a jerk.
I think Tim responded with Gigachad.
Okay.
The levels look low. Let's see.
A Gigachad is a meme depicting an extremely muscular and handsome man with a chiseled chin, high cheekbones, and a smirk.
Wow.
I mean, that does sum it up. It sums it up. And then there was a guy who gave a very good response video who looked like Gigachad. I don't mean that to be insulting. I thought he was a handsome man. The Gigachad himself is a creepy, scary looking man. But
no, but I get it. He's sort of like grotesquely handsome.
well, he's got that square face. The features are prominent, not just a round ball of lard.
So,
that's what my face
why are we talking about her?
That's what my face is becoming, by the way.
A ball of lard?
Yeah, I got these pictures back. Matt took all these film pictures on our trip to Ireland, and it's like, what the fuck is happening to me?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just look at my face; it's very round, and it's weird. In some instances, I look fat. In other instances, I don't. And sometimes it's the same angle, so it's not even different angles. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Are you? Oh, I know what it is.
What?
It's the sugar.
But I'm talking about like same day pictures.
I know it's not because of fat or calories or whatever. It's inflammation. Your body is trying to process all of that. And so it probably makes you bloated, or it makes you retain all this water, or it's inflammation in your body.
Well, whatever it is.
Yeah, it sounds right, huh?
I don't, if it could be right. Like I've heard it. I don't know. I've read Dr. Joe's books. Just kidding.
Oh, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No. But maybe I would learn that. Maybe I would learn such a thing. Why are we talking about that? Because you made the comment that Asians are good at Dr. Mario in it.
Yes. And I don't think that that's... It is. It includes a race.
It's a stereotype.
It is racist.
It's a stereotype.
Yeah. Okay. What's wrong with...
Don't ask me. Ask the world. Ask the world police. What is wrong with stereotypes?
I mean, I understand what is wrong with it. I understand that it leads down a path of, oh, well, then all these people are like this. And if it's negative, and then you assume that everyone who is that race is that negative thing that you've presumed, then yeah, I guess that is racism. Okay. But to guess that the person that makes the best Indian food is maybe an Indian person, a person from India, is stereotypical.
What do you feel about the person who's not Indian, the non-Indian person who has opened an Indian restaurant and makes the Indian food?
I would think, all right, good luck, idiot. I'm sure it's going to suck unless you have like Indian people in the kitchen.
And by that, I mean, well-to-do white people in gentrified neighborhoods who tend to open up restaurants.
What I wouldn't appreciate is someone saying like, we do Indian food better than someone who is Indian. Now,
what if somehow they actually did do Indian food?
Right. And okay, that's fine. It would need to be the person is paying an homage to this cuisine and not saying that we're doing it better. To presume that the white people are there and saying that they do it better is also racist. You would need to find out and say, are these people, do they actually have this love for Indian food and have worked for years to try and make their food as authentic as possible and learned from the people around them and I don't know. Yeah, I hope that's the case.
So in that instance, where some white people open an Indian restaurant and somehow, I mean, I think it's highly unlikely, but somehow they do make Indian food that people.
They were like adopted by an Indian family. They just happen to be white.
This is absolutely amazing. This is the best Indian food I've ever had. Should they have opened the restaurant in the first place?
Yeah, that's fine.
And some people would say no.
I know, but I feel like
I agree. I don't see. Yeah,
that's.
I don't see the problem.
I don't agree with people policing the world.
I would think, okay, like if I go to a taco place and it's run by a white dude, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like
Oh, I was disappointed in I felt like Fat Matt's, the barbecue place. It's in Atlanta. It's very popular. It's, kind of historic, whatever. Um, I always held it up on a pedestal of this like amazing barbecue, and then I went there. The last time I went there, it was like white college kids in the back cooking barbecue. I was like, this is bullshit.
Well, at some point, isn't it your recipe and you teach someone else your recipe? It's still your food.
Yeah, I guess.
I hear what you're saying. I think that Fat Matt's was overrated too.
It was, yeah. It always was.
But if you say that to the wrong person, you're going to get punched in the face.
But yeah, so I was disappointed there were white people back there. And that's not because I want black people to serve me, but I do want delicious barbecue from like a overweight black dude.
Well, that in itself is a strange thing because that is putting...
It's just like an Indian restaurant. I don't want the white person in the back making my Indian food. I would prefer like an Indian person who knows how to make their Indian food. I
know, but not every Indian person knows how to make good Indian food.
Right, and I wouldn't want that. I would want someone that's good. But if it's just like I mean, it's like with Chinese food. You don't get authentic Chinese food because, maybe it is like a mom and pop place where it's like the family owns the Chinese place. But if it's something else, then it's like, you got like Mexicans in the back, just like every other restaurant.
Well, a lot of the Chinese places have altered their foods for the American palate.
Right.
Which
so they're not even
make it fucking sweet. That's ultimately what it is, and take out the things that people wouldn't want to eat, like tendons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tripe. I mean, you can get that stuff still. It's just you can't get it at like Hunan Garden.
I'm sure you could go, if you go to a Chinese restaurant and ask for it, I'm sure that they could make it for you because...
they don't have that stuff in stock.
I feel as though, well, it depends on what we're talking about. Here in New York, a lot of those places I feel do, like if you go to Chinatown, where clearly there are tourists in Chinatown, and there's different Chinatowns too. There's one in Brooklyn that less tourists go to, and just exists as a Chinese community. But if you go to the restaurants, they've still got the Americanized menus, though they do have more offerings that are traditionally Chinese. I'm just thinking,
there's places here you can go that are actual Chinese restaurants where like Chinese people go, and you can get you don't really get the sweet things. You might have something on there for like kids, but usually it's like something grilled, like it's just chicken that's grilled.
What about the Chinese? I don't know if you have these, but the Chinese restaurants that also serve Mexican food.
No, I haven't seen that. That seems like a hood thing.
There's something here. I mean, there's
really?
quite a few of those in New York too, and there's one, Gourmet Garden 8. Yes.
I just remember seeing it on Ponce. There was like that place that was Chinese and Mexican food.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and I didn't.
So I always associate it with like the.
I didn't trust that one for whatever reason, but
I know.
Here it's like, you want the sesame chicken and you want chicken fajita taco? Great.
Okay.
And you want a quesadilla? Wonderful. Some of the best quesadillas I've actually had.
Oh, really?
Probably because it's just coated in butter. It's like
butter. No.
Well, yeah,
there's no butter in quesadillas.
No, the tortilla has butter on the outside. That's not.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No.
This one does. No, this one is buttery. The way it flakes, it's not oil. Ain't doing that.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now. That ain't the.
Call them right now.
That ain't the result of
you
oil
use butter
cooking.
When you make your quesadilla. Call them. Get them on the horn.
I'll do my. They're not going to give away their family secret recipe.
Well, you can say like, "Hey, I have a little bit of a dairy issue." Oh, quesadilla. Wait. Say,
yeah.
I can't really have butter. Do you use butter when you make your quesadillas?
I'll do research later.
Ugh, do it now.
And by that I mean no, I'm not. I don't care.
Just call them on the phone.
No.
Why?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to give them a call. I don't like talking to people on the phone. I've always been like this.
Can they hear me if I talk?
One of the best things in the world was.
Can they hear me if I speak?
Was apps. The ordering on apps. No, they wouldn't be able to hear you.
Oh.
They're not open now. They don't open until 4.
Damn it. 4?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Late night only.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Sorry. Different time.
You're lying.
Another time. No. Another time.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's a tricky thing to talk about. I think people's instincts when it comes to people from different races, different backgrounds, different cultures, if you are honest, I think you end up being I think you end up sounding racist. I think if you're trying too hard, then it sounds like you're saying the right things. But I think when people speak honestly about them, I think we all have these sort of what feel like a little troubling.
Excuse.
Ow.
I apologize.
And when I think I think if we all spoke honestly about things that we think or feel, I think we would all find that the common thread is that it's just human nature it's your brain. Your brain wants to put things into categories. That's fact. That's a scientific fact.
Well, there is a lot of nature scientifically backed shit that goes into the way we act that is completely dismissed. I've always been on board with, being human gives you the ability to assess those things, look at them, and try to change some of them if you want. But by default, the fact that people act the way they're programmed to act. The whole thing to me, I thought, was giving people the room to grow and to learn. And that doesn't seem to exist.
Yeah, and there's no room for error when it comes to anything that has to do with race or bias or prejudice. And I don't mean like prejudice as in the sort of overarching meaning when people say you're prejudiced. I mean like prejudice, like when you assume something about someone just based on whatever. I think your brain, just yourself, based on whatever, is going to presume certain things about certain people. It's what you do with that afterwards. If you deny someone a job because of some weird prejudice that you have against whatever, that's fucked up. And you should, you need to ask yourself, like, why am I not going to hire this? Like, am I really not going to hire this person because of this?
You also aren't doing any good. You're not doing what you say you want to do if you go after someone, even if someone was more direct and more racist in the things that they said, and then you destroy their life. It's like if your goal is really to get people to look at things from a different angle and outside of themselves and to think about it and to change their behavior.
Yeah, she could have used that as a teaching moment and not as like in condescending, like, just so you know, when you say, you could say, hey, that could come off as offensive.
When you do that to a person, then they're never going to change.
Yeah, then it's like, okay, now I'm learning something about you people.
Yeah, I just because that's not really what it's about. It's not about having people change. It's about the power that you have over people and putting people in their place.
Maybe that's what she felt in that moment, was not a sense of I'm better or I'm offended or you're racist. It was more like, an opportunity for to have power over this person.
And to be the victim. I know that it's been said a lot.
Well, victim, you can have power as a victim.
It's sometimes strangely. I roll my eyes at my eye.
My one eye.
My one eye that still works.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes, when people throw that out, like, oh, everyone just wants to be a victim. But as time goes on and you see that there is, if we're looking at it through a lens for getting your internet clout, there is something to be said about being a professional victim. You actually can monetize it these days. If you're in situations, I guess if you're doing it constantly, and that's what your whole TikTok feed was, it's like, oh, this person is out looking for this.
People just catch on to that.
But there is an opportunity. Like, you can get positive results out of being a victim. So I do think that there are situations where people, they realize what's happening, and then they get into gear and they say, all right, I'm going to take this. This is my opportunity. I'm going to seize this. And that's, to me, what this video felt like. And it backfired, thankfully. Because there are people, who are victims to real assholes. And this takes away from those instances, too. That's the real problem I have. if somebody is offended, it doesn't necessarily mean you're right in feeling offended. You're not wrong in the feeling that you have.
Yeah, go ahead and be offended if you want to feel it. But just like the person who is feeling something against the other person just based on some superficial thing, it's something that you need to look at and say, why am I offended? Why am I feeling this way about that person?
Yeah, and there's a lot at play.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot at play.
And maybe it is because of bigger issues, societal issues.
Mm-hmm.
That still doesn't give you the right to go after a nice man driving a taxi, just trying to get by.
There was someone who I knew a long time ago who recently posted on Facebook that, I don't know how to say it, BIPOC. I would say it's like BIPOC. It's Black, Indigenous, People of Color.
Yeah.
And she was saying that in itself is offensive. And I'm assuming that she's bisexual or something. I don't know. It's not having anything to do with bisexuality. I don't know why.
Move past that part.
I wasn't saying anything about her. For some reason, I felt like, I guess because it says bi POC, and I was thinking that had something to do with sexuality. I don't know why. Anyway, beside the point. She said that it makes it so that Black and of color. And I was just like, man.
It also further separates. If everyone wants equality and equity, like they claim, then, recognizing the reality of things. People say, I don't see color. Like, you see color.
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't make you think as much. And maybe you don't alter your behavior as much. Maybe it doesn't trigger, feelings of prejudice as much in you as it does in other people.
People do feel those things.
Well, yeah, it exists with everyone in some way. So, completely dismissing it and pretending it doesn't exist, that's not real in itself. But I feel as though the further separation of things, everyone says they want equality, they want equity. If that was really what people wanted, there would be, I feel as though, different reactions to a lot of these things in the movement as a whole. Ultimately, what it feels like is just a grasp for power. It's like, you've had the power, now I want the power. It's time for other people to get the power.
And now I can decide that if you are trying to be inclusive by saying by POC, and you really are trying to put forth an effort, but because I have felt powerless before, I'm going to make you feel guilty for using that.
I look, if people want to use it, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah. The point is, I just felt like it's weird because I do agree in a way. It's like, why are we differentiating Black and Indigenous from people of color? I don't know. But I understand the meaning behind it was, we are trying to be more inclusive. But then, like I was saying before, it's like when you try too hard, when you say things that, like, I don't see color, that's trying too hard because we know it's bullshit. But it sounds right. You know what I mean? Like it makes you seem better. But really, it's just a lie, because if I'm walking up to someone who is different looking than me, or I can tell they are from somewhere, or like just, not my race or whatever, I don't necessarily think much, but I don't know if there are certain things about them that make me think of, experiences or interactions I've had or something. I might start to wonder, like, oh, are they going to be like that? And then when they prove not to be, because they're just a normal person, then it's like, okay, moving on. I feel weird saying that. I feel worried saying that, but I shouldn't, because that's what happens. That's what we all do.
Well, it's worth talking about actual feelings. And I've brought it up before on the show that, I've never fancied myself prejudiced, racist person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like a lot of people, but it has nothing to do with skin color. And moving to New York, being around a bunch of different type of people, more so than Atlanta. Any city's got diversity, but coming to New York, there was more diversity. And if I was on a train and it was an empty car and a Black man walked on, there was a feeling. And it's like, why does that exist? Where does that come from? Why am I worried? Because that's mostly what it was. It was, it wasn't overbearing. It wasn't like, oh my, I'm so scared now. But
right.
If you're honest with yourself, you're like, oh yeah, well, if I'm honest with myself, I can't speak for everyone, but It's like that
It would
existed.
depend on how the person is behaving and how they're dressed and the vibe they're giving
Sure,
off
but
too.
even dress shouldn't necessarily matter. Vibe
It
certainly
shouldn't, but you understand, like there
But
is
that's
an animal instinct, a protective thing to say something's not right.
that's different though. Like talking about behavior, anyone who comes on acting erratic, again, skin color
Oh,
doesn't
I don't
matter.
mean even erratic, just like, I don't know, dressed a certain way or like dressed
Okay,
like
well,
really cool, you know, you're like, you're not afraid of that person.
sure. In this instance, okay, I'd see. Like if somebody
You know what I
came
mean?
on and they were dressed what people would traditionally consider from like a poorer neighborhood,
Yeah.
gangster rap type shit. I say such shit because I just feel dumb saying it. It's like a very
it's
dumb
stupid.
thing to say. It's like, yeah, I guess that would play into it too. But it's like you question why do I feel like this? And that person comes on and they're just as aware that you're probably feeling that way about them. And you know, that's that's the
Women
big,
feel that way constantly.
yeah.
If there's if they're alone and a dude enters the space, you're like, is this person going to hurt me?
well,
Or are they going to try and talk to me and I'm going to have to reject them? And then instead of just taking the rejection, are they going to get violent? Are they going to follow me?
well, that's fair. Anytime you talk about men and their behavior, it's like, that's, you know, there's a very clear reason for that. Because men
hate
are like
dudes.
that. Because
Every
men are
time I'm
shit.
out, like every time I'm out, there's always, because I'm always with Susanna and she's so beautiful. So like dudes always come up to us and they never add to what we're doing. They always just pull us away and to whatever they want to talk about or whatever they want to ask us. It's like we were having a conversation and having our own time. And if you came in and added to that and like played in the sandbox that we have been playing in, that's fine. That's like cool. But instead they're like, where are you from? Do you have kids? How often do you come here? And you're like, oh my God. But then again, it's like if you are too rude to them, there was this guy that was like, we'd seen him before. And this isn't at the place where I normally go, but somewhere else, like whatever. And he came up and he was annoying the last time we were there. And he came, I was like, hey, can I bring my stuff over to your table? I just want to get out of the way for these. I was like, no. He was like, what?
Bitch.
I was like, no, you can't. Sorry.
Did he call you that? Did he turn
No,
on
he's
you?
like, oh man, you're crazy. And he left.
Well, I guess it's the best reaction you could hope for because normally I feel like dudes take it personally, the rejection, and then they turn on you in an instant.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I mean, that's happened to me too, but thankfully. But then there was just like some other chick that he ended up just sort of glomming onto. And she liked it, I guess. He was gross.
He got what he wanted.
And he was like, when I looked over where he was at the bar, he was like not in anyone's way. He was just trying to like, I don't know, mooch, glom, maybe hit it off with one of us, which is not going to happen.
And did he actually have a bag? Maybe he just carries that bag around. So
I didn't see any of his stuff.
Can I put
I think he meant like his drinks. It's like,
I would.
You can't.
That would be my in. That would be my trick. I would just carry around a bag with like nothing in it but a bowling ball and some crumpled up newspapers.
Oh, a bowling ball.
Well, it's got to
Hopefully
have
just
some,
a 6-pound one.
Yeah, sure. It can be a lighter one. It's got to have some weight to it. You
Yeah,
can tell an empty. And it's like when you're watching movies and people are taking a drink and they put the cup down. It's like that thing was fucking empty.
Yeah. There's a movie that starts with Famke Jensen drinking a coffee, like in a coffee thing. And the whole time, like she's rushing somewhere. And every time she drinks it, she like lifts it all the way up. I'm like, that bitch is empty.
Yeah. You can tell. Like the weight isn't there. So you'd have to put a bowling ball in this bag and then you could kind of slop the bag down. Like, oh, can I just put my stuff with you to keep it out of the way? And
Ew, no, the human head you're carrying in your backpack?
And you
no, you
use
cannot.
that. Then you use that. Yeah, you start feeling the bag pressing on it and you feel something round. And then
Why is it wet?
when you get to the two finger holes and it feels like eye sockets,
Oh my God.
you'd be able to tell the bowling ball is not a human head.
Yeah, you would. Your eyeballs are not that close to get. Oh, well, maybe. Actually, I wonder how far the distance is between bowling ball holes and your eye socket.
Well, they're closer, I think.
I mean, feeling right now, if I was thinking like it's a bowling ball's eyeballs are way too close than actual eyeballs, but I don't know. It seems like it be there.
Let's see if there's any information on this. Bowling ball finger hole pitches. It's the bridge.
Pitches?
The space between the finger holes and the surface of the ball is known as the bridge, and the bridge can sometimes be as much as fourth of an inch. Fucking article. I was hoping to get what I needed just from the search result. Now I got it. This thing is long. Bowlingball.com. It's where bowlers go.
Oh my God.
Let's see. We'll do a search for bridge. 1/4 distance between the inside edges of the finger. That seems too close. I don't know. That just says the bridge can sometimes be as much as 1/4 of an inch distance between the inside edges of the finger holes. That's not that big. 1/4 of an inch.
No.
That's what this says. And this is where the bowlers go.
I guess. I don't want to, piss off bowlers. You know how they are.
All right. Now that we have more terminology, standard bridge distance bowling ball. This says, is there a standard bridge measurement? I've been told 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, and 1/2 inch so far. This is total bowling. Community threads. No such thing as standard when it comes to ball fit.
Ooh.
Manufacturers suggest 1/4 of an inch for warranty purposes, which is where standard is often based. My pet hate, however, is huge bridges. Almost no one has the need for a 1/2 inch bridge, yet I see it day in and day out. If you add the grips to the 1/2 inch bridge measurement, you are placing the bowler's hand under huge pressure, and generally the insides of the finger joints will tear. I kindly refer to this as the Dr. Spock drilling. Not hard to work out why, and is usually the sign of an inaccurate ball driller. What, you like the tearing of the joints? You wanted to talk about that?
Yeah, Jesus, no.
Most top-level guys I drill for only have an 1/8 of an inch wide bridge or less because they don't care about ball warranty. They care about comfort. Most average Joe bowlers use 1/4 of an inch. So I think eyes are... All right, let's look at the average distance between...
It's 4.962 centimeters over 50 skulls. That was the mean difference.
4.962 centimeters, 2 inches. That's 1.9 inches. But is that center of the eyes? Is that?
I put eye sockets.
Yeah, because that measurement is the inside of both holes. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, between like your tear duct.
Really figuring shit out here.
From tear duct to tear duct.
Really giving in the information that people need to live their lives. So yes, I'm somewhat embarrassed again that I talked about a TikTok fucking video as this week's topic. I don't want to be on TikTok. I hate it. Can you hear these sirens? Are these sirens picking up?
Are they coming to arrest my dog for blocking?
I think that's an ambulance. It's clearly an ambulance. They should arrest
you always know.
Yeah. And there's so much traffic. The thing is, there's nowhere for people to go. It'd be so frustrating to drive. It's like I'm trying to get, but like the cars want to move, but can't move.
Yeah.
That's why you have fire lanes in Manhattan. It's like, don't even fucking block this lane. This exists solely for the fire trucks.
Why don't they have that everywhere in a city like New York?
Well, sometimes the road itself is only one lane.
Right.
So you can't have a fire lane.
All those firemen, they're all the same.
So anyway, this influencer. Yeah, I know. Yeah. You should be...
I did see something about firemen and how they all cheat on their wives. And like nurses know that. Like this person was on a dating site and he was talking to this woman and the woman was like, hey, I saw some like fire emblem. Do you work for the fire station? And they're like, yeah, I do. And she was like, okay, I'm going to have to respectfully decline like seeing you. Like, I can't. He was like, what? What do you mean? What happened? He was like, she said, you're a fireman? He was like, yeah. Are you a nurse? And she said, yes, I work at whatever hospital. And he was like, oh my God. Like, what? Huh? What? And she was like, I just know like all these firemen and how they all cheat on their wives and stuff. So, and then comments on it were saying like, yeah, that's exactly what they do. They all cheat on their wives.
Why don't people get offended over that though? There's some firefighters who clearly don't cheat. Maybe I shouldn't say clearly, but I assume that there's some. I don't know. I don't have the clear evidence, but
I've never heard of it. I have no idea.
I feel as though, why don't people get angry when those kind of judgments are passed on? It's still a group of people.
Yeah, but it's not a something that you were born into and can't change, I guess,
Yeah, that's fair. That's
about
very
yourself.
smart. That's a very smart thing to say. You choose to be a fireman.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's it. That's the answer to it.
Yeah.
You answered it. It was clear as day, and I didn't see it.
Oh, I am so smart.
I just wanted to make my hot take. I went into.
But it's true. It is the same. I mean, ultimately, it is the same. It is a bias. It is a presumption. It is a prejudice.
Hey, I don't cheat just because everyone else does, and I have to lie for them, and I have to tell their wives constantly that they're hanging out with me, even though we're not.
Yeah, I'm at the firehouse. Sure.
Hey, he's coming over for dinner tonight, like when they're not working.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
he's at my house.
Is it happening at the firehouse in the shared rooms?
No, I think they probably just say, I'll be at the firehouse tonight. Right? And then they're like cheating.
And then
I'm assuming.
the alarm goes off and they have to stop in the middle.
No, they're not really at the firehouse.
Oh, so okay, I feel like that'd be pretty easy to figure out. But I understand.
Well, if you're a successful cheater, there's no need to figure anything out.
So they're not
Like, I
cheating
love you, sweetie.
when they're actually working.
No, they can't. They got to be at the station.
Yeah, but maybe
I delivered Tide and a soda to a fireman once when I was doing DoorDash. I was like, this is an odd.
Did you go into the living
delivery.
quarter?
No, he was sitting outside. You know how they all sit outside, like on a chair? He was sitting out in the driveway of the fire station waiting for his Tide and a soda that I picked up from a 7-Eleven in Crofton. And I drove it to like Old Town Bowie. It was really weird.
You had to do the laundry for everyone.
Yep, and he wanted a sody pop.
They don't do DoorDash for the most part because they all cook. They take the fire truck to the grocery store and they all go in together.
What is that?
Just,
They do cook. They cook at those fire
that's
stations.
what I mean. They're cooking.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's why I said they're not ordering DoorDash, but the Tide. And he says, may as well get a soda while I'm at it.
Yeah. It did make me think of my fireman. I'm like, I wonder if he has a girlfriend.
And then you decide not to ask. You're like, well, I don't want to know. The less I know, the better.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want it to end. So I won't ask.
No,
He does not have a girlfriend.
Well, maybe he has
There would be
other-
signs of a woman in that home. And there are zero signs of a woman in that home.
Maybe it's a second home. Maybe he's that good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I doubt it.
I do like the idea of the woman going to the firehouse and then the alarm goes off and then the man's got to go down the pole naked.
Like Samantha Jones when she was sleeping with that fireman from Long Island.
But was it Long Island? She would have never gone out to Long Island.
Where did they? Because they rode the ferry.
Oh, Staten
remember?
Island.
Staten Island, sorry.
Which, just as bad. Maybe even worse. It's easier to get to parts of Long Island than Staten Island. But he didn't have any interest in her once she showed up to the firehouse. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
But I thought she put on his like uniform without a shirt on or something.
Yeah, he didn't like it. And he's like, get the fuck out. I gotta go.
No, that was the other person. He was like, I gotta go. And then the other guy was like, give me my book. I'm like, got my boots on.
Yeah. Then she
He didn't care.
Then they painted underwear on her in the TV version.
She was naked?
Yeah, if you watch on HBO, I think they show her butt or something.
Awesome.
But then they paint on full pink underwear, if I remember correctly.
I remember that too. I felt like that's the only way I remember it.
We do need to wrap up the show, but now's not the time to bring it up. I was going to ask if you saw. It's not at the time because there's no time to talk about it.
The trailer?
Yeah, the trailer for, and just like that, season 2, a Sex in the City story or whatever the fuck they're marketing it as.
Where
these days.
Miranda is no longer Miranda.
People change.
No, exactly. She changed. Her story came to a lovely ending in the finale of Sex and the City, where she learned to love. She realized that she could love and was lovable when she helped take care of Steve's mom, gave her a bath in the tub. And Magda, a pseudo mother, told her like, you can love. You can love now.
Yeah, and that music's playing. I know the music.
Yeah, what was that music?
It was just the music that was wrapping everything up. I couldn't actually recite it, but I remember the feeling it gave me. What did the mom say about the pizza out of the trash can? That's cold. Or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, what did she say?
It doesn't
This
matter.
pizza's horrible. Tastes like trash.
Yeah, maybe it tastes like garbage. Who knows what she...
This pizza tastes like garbage.
Who knows?
Yeah, but now she's like, insane. Oh my God, she's a lesbian.
She dyed her hair again. She's feeling alive again.
Is Shay Diaz going to be back? I hope so.
She is. They already showed her.
I forgot. I don't remember.
You can go to the new Rock Stars and watch the trailer breakdown. I'm just kidding. I don't think the new Rock Stars is a channel, or it's mostly one dude, but he has a lot of help, and they break down like every fucking comic book trailer. Like, look at this little piece of information. Look at this reveal. Here's how it ties in. Look, it's fucking made this guy rich.
That's what the nerd crew is from Red Letter Media. They make fun of those people.
Probably made this guy rich, so we can laugh all we want.
We're going to break down the new Star Wars trailer. So cool. So cool.
I've watched them sometimes. I'm curious. But they won't do Sex in the City. I don't think that's not cool enough for them.
There's 2 podcasts that I listen to that might, well, especially Sexy Unique podcast would probably definitely do a
looking at it frame by frame
breakdown. Ugh, but yeah, Che Diaz. Oh my God. Fingered.
It's just so clear. It's an overcompensation now. It's like, okay, the show was too white the first time around.
I know. And then and we're talking about race, like it's the women, and then it's like black lady, black lady, black lady,
yeah.
black lady.
And yeah, it was too straight and it was too white.
Yep.
And
sure was.
They had
and the only black lady that was there before was like, she was the mean sister.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm an angry black woman.
Sure. And that's the fair criticism against the show. But
don't try so hard. At least make it serve the whole.
Well, it's clear with Miranda. It's like, I want my character to actually be me now. I don't want it to be the character of Miranda anymore.
No.
So now it's just me. And that's the way it's going to go. And Aiden coming back, who fucking cares? What a cheap ploy.
I love Aiden, though.
There's no reason for him to come back.
I know. I get it. Let's
Zero.
get married.
At least she moved back to her apartment, clearly. She left the fancy apartment. She's back in the old one.
God. How? No, there's no way.
Or she still kept it. That's what they should watch the trailer. Do the breakdown. Watch frame by fucking frame.
I only watched the beginning of it, and then I saw all of that, and I was like, I couldn't watch the rest.
You're still going to hate watch it.
I will. Ooh, it just gives me this feeling in my stomach of like excitement, but anger.
I promise the listeners now, we will not do an episode on the new. If we do, then I don't know. It's got to be released separately. I don't want to subject everyone to another breakdown of And Just Like That.
I think it'd be fun. But yeah, I get it.
Maybe some people would enjoy it, but I think it should somehow be a side episode. You can test out your selling an episode for 50 cents or whatever the hell it is.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Like and subscribe, rate and review, tell your friends so we can start doing live reads.
And we got close with last week's
yeah, we did.
show. Everyone interested in the gossip of WSB and the changes, though apparently we didn't. I'll stop this for a second. Apparently we didn't cover it in the correct way. Most people seem to enjoy that show, and they appreciated you talking openly.
Oh my God, everybody that reached out was so supportive and amazing. It really was touching. Thank you.
But there were some people, it's like, they didn't really tell why. I was like, I think I did tell why. It's like,
You did tell why.
They wanted to boost the ratings.
We just didn't tell them anything interesting enough. Because
bolster the ratings. Boost the ratings, bolster the ratings. That's what I meant. Not
bolster,
booster.
boost.
Not booster. Not like a child in a baby chair.
I mean, it does lift up. It does increase height.
Sure. Maybe that worked too. I shouldn't have called it out. But
rocket booster.
So, yeah, I think people wanted us to just shit on other people. And
yeah.
Like, no. I mean, that is the reason. The conspiracy theory I buy into is, Eric's being punished.
It was a punishment. Yeah.
Because he ran his mouth. That's like, no.
Trivia is letting me set up beforehand, and then I'll just broadcast from there, and then
see, it worked.
Yeah, so that was really awesome. Good job.
Do you have a good space that you can broadcast from?
Yeah, they have downstairs where they do like banquets and stuff. So
have you tested the internet connection yet?
No, I'm going earlier than normal on Monday.
Okay, good.
Yeah, to test it out.
So you're using Clean Feed and I use Clean Feed. Oh, fuck.
No, I'm going to use my...
Oh, you're bringing your comm racks.
I was going to try.
I know it's racks. I just wanted to say racks.
Comm racks. Are you on Mondays?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I am. We're going to do 6 o'clock. Tomorrow I'll be on at 6 p.m. And then I told Jared I just have to like tell him. I'll always be able to be on at 6, most likely.
Okay.
But you know, sometimes I want to come on earlier.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, thank you again, everybody.
Why? What are you asking? What was that? Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, can 2 people be on Clean Feed at once?
I don't know. I would think so, but then you can't control our levels individually. Who cares?
Oh, I see.
People listening don't care.
All right, sorry guys. Love you. Bye.
Shut up.
I know he's feeling better.